Hey everybody, how's it going? So back at the desktop yet again. How's it going? Thought I'd try out a new angle here. Got my screen cap going here. So we're gonna talk about mastering, final mixing, that kind of stuff. And we're going to take a look at a program I wish had existed 20 freaking years ago because it really does help clean your mixes up. The program's called Gullfoss, and I'm using it here as a mastering EQ. And what it is, it's an intelligent EQ of sorts that analyzes your mixes and does recalculations like several hundred times a second or something like that and changes the EQ up to make it work with what your song is doing. And I gotta say, the results are pretty impressive. Like, if we take a look at this track I've been working on the last little bit here and just turn it on and off. So here's my mix as I had it. And then there's with Gullfoss on. That's just like instant clarity. That is super cool. Now, I could have used this a couple decades ago, honestly, when I was first coming up, because I always wondered, why are my mixes so muddy? Why do the guitars fart out? You know, how do I get this kind of clarity? Now, I've been playing with this program for the last couple months, just kind of scratching my head and thinking about how I'm going to do a video about it. And I was talking with a few of my Discord mods about it. And one guy was saying, it's like, you know, hey, it's great, but it's, you know, it kind of puts you in a box and it gets you to a preset EQ curve. And I'm thinking, well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you don't have a good room to mix in, you don't know what you're listening for, and you're scratching your head wondering why your mixes are so muddy. This will kind of get you in the ballpark of where you want to go. In this case, like I said, I'm using it as a master, and it really does make a big difference in terms of clarity. Once again, off and on. It definitely kind of cleans up a bit of the mud, adds a bit more zing to it, and it's pretty cool. The great thing is it's really got simple controls. We got recover, tame, bias, and brighten, and that's basically it. And for all you guys who are wondering, well, what the hell does all that do? Well, I'll take you through it real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to loop a segment here where, you know, we just got the bass slamming down and just show you guys what's going on. So what we want to do is we want to reset all the controls, and we're just going to crank them up, each one, and show you what it does. So that's the thing about anything digital. Just crank the knobs on it. See what the heck it's going to do to your sound. So let's see. We got recover. Okay, so that's adding a lot of top end, a little bit of bottom end. Bring that down. And tame. That's turning the bass down, and it's bringing some mids up. That's pretty straightforward, you know. It's like, okay, we can add a bit of top end, we can add a little bit of bottom end. Now, I was checking out some of the demo videos from Sound Theory and the guys who wrote the program, and they were saying, you know, start with things around 50% and just see what happens here. Now, this is the thing, because I got a screen cap going on and a bunch of other stuff. My CPU's kind of, you know, just chugging away here. I need a faster video card to do all this stuff. But let's see here. Let's take this, about 50%. Yeah, it's just, it's a little, the rates are a little jumpy for me right now. So we'll start at 50%, tame and recover, and then I'm going to show you guys what the bias control does. So here we go. So we've got this scalable thing. This is a brand new feature here. We can change the dB scale here. You can see this is pulling down here a little bit. So what we want to do is we want to take the bias control and get this close to 0 as we can. Okay, that's a little much. Probably adding a little bit too much top end. That's about 6 dBs a gain at about 10 kilohertz, and I think that might be a little much. So let's drop this in one more time. Off. Okay, I think we might be recovering a little too much there. Let's take that down. So we'll take that down to about 25%. Let's see what we get. Not bad. Okay, that's a little too much with the taming. Try that. Maybe bring that up a bit more. Yeah, it just kind of cleans up the bottom end a little bit. Now, the last thing we're going to mess with here is the brighten control, and this is to keep the top end from getting out of control. It seems to be doing okay. Maybe I can bring the brighten down just a little bit. That's pretty good. It's right around the 0 mark. Not too bad. That's the thing. If we crank the brighten up, that's going to go way out of control up here. Again, it's the same kind of idea with this control here. We want to get this right around the zero mark. So that's kind of get us in the ballpark. So I'll bring that back down, and we can turn this down a lot too, which is what we don't want. Again, bring that up a little more. Nope, that's a little too much. So we reset that. Okay. That's pretty good. Maybe bring that down just a touch. I think that's not bad, right? Like that. It's just adding a... If we zoom in here a little bit more, we can see what's going on. That's pretty good right there. It's just adding a bit of clarity. I like what it's doing with the bottom end. It's just adding a little bit, and it's all just 1 and 2 or 3 dBs. It's really not much. I mean, like, yeah, it's not even going past 3 dBs here. So lets me know I got my mix right to begin with. It's just cleaning up a little bit of the mud and adding a little bit of zing. And I think that's really cool. And that's with just 4 real simple controls. That's awesome. Now, there's also a sidechain control here on the new version, and I still haven't quite figured out what all this does. It's apparently for mixing down stems if you want to bypass it, I think. I'd definitely say check out the website for that information just to make sure you're clear. But honestly, I really like the results on this. Just that added little boost of clarity. Now, I remember checking this thing out at NAMM a couple of years ago. These guys were like, hey, we'd really like you to do a video on this. I'm like, yeah, this looks really cool. And I'm glad I finally got a chance to do this because this is really something else. All right, so next up, we've got the mix from the drum shootout I did a couple weeks back, and a lot of you guys were saying you really like the guitar sound and whatnot on that. Now, here's the mix I had, and we'll throw Gullfoss on and just show what's going on here. So, turn this on in a sec. I was pretty happy with this mix. It might be a little dark. We might be able to boost that up a little more. Okay. Definitely boosting up a little bit. We'll take the bias down a little. That's looking pretty good right there. And off. Wow. Kicking on. One more time. Maybe we might be recovering a little too much there. We'll bring that down. About 30% recovery. Maybe a little more tame. Bring the bias up now. Again, it's all just, remember, the trick is, balance the recover and tame with the bias and the brighten. Again, that might be a little bright. Take the brightness down a little more. Wow! The raw mix sounds positively muddy by comparison. That's impressive. And that's only doing a couple real small moves. Wow. That just really tightens up the whole kick drum thing. I mean, like, take one more listen to that. Okay, that's impressive. I really like that. Now, I will freely admit I was wondering, what am I going to do for this video? I don't quite understand what it's doing, but I sat down and watched a couple of the tutorials on YouTube that Sound Theory put out, and I got to say, you know, they did a really good job of explaining all this, because this is some controls we don't normally see. I'm like, recover and tame? Like, seriously, what the hell is that, guys? But you know, once you start messing with it, you kind of get a feel for what it does. Once again, you know, grab the controls, crank them all the way so you can hear exactly what the hell they're doing. Just again, to show what's going on, we got some recovery and tame going on. If we crank those up, we can see what's going on. So that's adding a lot of top and maybe a little bit of bottom on the kick. And tame does this. It's clearing out a lot of the mud, and it's adding some nice mid-range. So obviously, we're just doing it a little bit more subtly now, but so that's what's going on. It's just cleaning things up that much more. And if you're struggling to get your mixes to work on various systems in the real world, this could save you a lot of grief. Now, even maybe 15 years ago, I was mixing in here and I'm bringing mixes out into the real world, and I'm wondering why everything's so muddy and whatnot. It took a long time to get mixes to the point where I was really happy with how they were translating. This is definitely going to save you some time. In fact, I like the results, what it's doing to this mix so much. I think I'm going to add Gullfoss into my daily production schedule, just because it's going to help me get to where I want to go that much faster. Now, for you live guys, they've actually got a new version here called Gullfoss Live, so you can apply this to your mixes if you're doing live sound. It's a lot more CPU efficient. It's not going to be quite as intense, but it should get you to where you want to go. And this might really save your ass in a live situation if you've got something that's jumping out of control. You can just lay on the recover or the tame, and away you go, and you're going to get results that are going to work a whole lot better. I think that's absolutely awesome. Now, they just added this feature the other day. I've just been playing with it today. Pretty cool. Of course, you can try Gullfoss out for absolutely free. All you need is an iLock. Follow the link in the description below. Check it out. I really like the results of it. I'm going to be using it for a lot more stuff than just this demo. I can tell you that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and check the link out. It's definitely worth taking a look at. See you later.